Welcome to a special E3 2014 edition of Whatever with Don and Justin, which means plenty of new games and...
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we got Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and...
Yeah, whatever. 'Cause this is United States or whatever. And this is my United States or whatever.
Ooh. Yeah, sorry guys. E3's come and gone again and no Half-Life 3 announcement. Yeah. It's one of those things, it's nowhere to be found. But, hey, we have a new game from Left 4 Dead creators, Turtle Rock. That's kind of cool,
Yeah.
right?
That is cool.
Better than nothing. It's called
Better than
Evolve. Evolve looks pretty cool.
Yes,
I think that's one of the coolest things this year is there looks to be a lot of really fun creative games.
yeah, actually.
That's one of the most fun things about E3 usually is seeing all the new stuff. But recently, in recent years anyway, it's been nothing but sequels and all kinds of stuff. But now with the new generation of consoles here, we actually have some like interesting new ideas, sort of, at least anyway. And like some refinement of old ideas, like Evolve, which I just mentioned, like that doesn't look like a new idea, but you know, it looks like a new take on an old kind of idea.
Yeah, it's like a
So
new
that's kinda
spin.
cool. Right. It's like a Left 4 Dead without zombies.
Yeah.
Surprised they would come up with a game like that. So anyway, how you been, Justin? First of all, let's just check in on you. Doing all right?
Well, good, good.
Doing
It's
good.
E3. It's one of the most exciting times, I think, for if you're a person that plays video games. So
Yeah.
it always gets me pumped, even if
most wonderful time of the year. It's not even
Unless-
that Christmas.
if I get a little disappointed. I mean, it happens sometimes, but we'll get into that. But I'm always giddy. I'm always like, yeah, it's E3 time.
I'll tell you when I get giddy is for whatever reason. I guess it's because I was just like raised on Nintendo. But whenever their conference comes up, I think also because like Monday is like what I consider still kind of the new guys. Like Sony and Microsoft, and those are like the two main guys. Nowadays to a lot of people, and they're battling over the same core gamer market. But then you got like
Yeah.
this really kind of like childish, playful kind of games that come out with the Nintendo conference, and that has like its own morning to itself. And it's kind of like Christmas morning or something, you know what I mean? It's like Christmas Eve is like when you open the presents from like family and stuff like that, but then Christmas morning is when you get Santa's presents, And to me,
Yeah.
it's like the old school kind of stuff is from Nintendo, the Mario, the Donkey Kong, which unfortunately, like they don't really come out with anything other than that kind of stuff anymore. But like I still love that kind of stuff, and I just think it's a lot of fun.
it's one of those things though. When you do something and you do it well, why is there ever really a need to?
That's a good point too. Like I do recall like they come up with new gameplay ideas and then find a way to work it into an existing IP. So
Yeah.
and that's not a bad thing I don't think because they're guaranteed to sell if it's like why reinvent something? It's a lot less likely to sell if it's a brand new IP people have never heard of. Look at Pikmin.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
Well, and I mean, for example, even the new guys are doing it. Assassin's Creed sells, they
yep.
keep making them. Call of Duty sells, they keep making them. So I mean, there's a business decision there, and it works.
yeah, games are a business, I should say, and you have to keep that in mind whenever we'd all like things to be tailored to us, but you have to keep in mind the audience they're going after and things like that. And sometimes you just have to kind of go, it's maybe not for me. It's all right, but
So do we want to jump right into this with Nintendo then, since we're on the topic,
We
or do we want
could.
to leave them for last?
it doesn't matter to me really. We could. I think we should just start with like the overall thing. We're doing this on a Tuesday, obviously, because the press conferences are done now, and the first day of E3 has happened, and basically everything's out of the closet. Everything's like on the table. We've already seen all the reveals and everything, so we can do a proper reaction.
Well, there could be a few things up their sleeves. They still
Maybe,
they do
yeah.
release some stuff on the floor sometimes, but
Right.
we got the best we can
Yeah,
do.
we got like the big hitters out of the way at least. So I guess let's just start, Justin. Do you think there is a winner or a loser or anything at all? Who do you think would you say had the best conference if you were to choose?
Well,
if you were to be put on the spot, and you are.
I hate to pick a winner because I don't think anybody ever really wins E3.
They do. Though. You're wrong. But keep going.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
But anyway, I
Undisputed.
personally don't ever really think anybody wins E3. But if I had to pick a winner right now, you know who I would pick?
I don't. That's why I'm
You
asking.
don't. That's why you're asking.
Yes, exactly.
I would pick Nintendo,
Okay.
but not because of some of the games, but I think I feel like with their conference, they have a new attitude about them. I just from the hilarious Robot Chicken beginning
Right.
to the funny fighting of the president and Reggie, and then how they were doing this thing with the developers, and then to extend that, when the conference is over, they've got this Nintendo Treehouse thing that's going on for the next 3 days as the conferences or the show floors open, and they literally have the developers sitting there. And they're showcasing these games. It's not journalists that are giving your opinion on it, oh, we thought this sucks, or we think it's them just being here's our game, here's what we're doing with
Please
it.
buy
We're
it.
showing you a bunch of gameplay, so you can basically, as a consumer, make a choice. Do I like what I'm seeing? And I think personally, that's the future of E3.
Yeah, you might be right about that because I think I remember I saw the interview today with Reggie Fils-Aimé or Phil Zame or whatever they called him in the E3 thing. But anyway, Reggie Fils-Aimé was on IGN and he was saying this is what people. They asked him why aren't you doing conferences anymore? And he said, well, we could. He said, but we're presenting to 3,500 people. It's well, we could present to the world instead, and this is basically everybody likes streams now. People are looking to stream stuff, so we'll give it to them basically, and also if anyone out there did see Nintendo's press con, it was incredibly creative. I thought it was really really funny, and yeah, they worked with the guys from Robot Chicken, and they did some self parodying. It was really funny. And then they did this this awesome little fight scene that you were talking about just now between Reggie Fils-Aimé and Satoru Iwata, the president of Nintendo, and it was freaking hilarious.
It was totally unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really, really just fun to watch. And that was basically the theme of their entire conference, I guess. So it was just I don't know, when they get backed into a corner, they just kind of go, yeah, screw it. Let's just have fun. The thing people need to remember too about Nintendo, in particular, is they don't lose money on their hardware, and they're pretty much they're well off, even though the Wii U is doing really badly right now. Let's just be honest. They're not losing a ton of money on the hardware, I don't think, anymore. And even if they were, it's not that significant, and they're not completely desperate or anything like this. They can afford to kind of just have fun and just kind of go with the flow instead of. They're not like Sega, before the Dreamcast was wrapped up. They're not about to die or anything. They're not that desperate or anything. So
I think let's just look at this. Like you said, streaming is becoming ever so popular, and it's only continuing to grow. And they can only fit so many thousands of people at E3, whereas when you're doing this stuff online, you're basically streaming it to the world.
right.
And you're basically giving everybody a first pass to your conference and your games and all that stuff. But like I said, the journalism for gaming has always kind of been the middleman. They've been the ones that they go to the companies, they get on hand stuff, they bring back their thoughts, their impressions, their feelings on said product. But here it's screw that, we're cutting the middleman out. We're going to show you exactly what we're making. Give you some hands-on. Well,
Yeah,
not
that's an
hands-on, but give
interesting
you
thing.
some solid time.
The treehouse thing is interesting in and of itself because it's like an extension of their conference, but it's it's a continual thing throughout the entire show, right?
Yeah, and when they're playing games, they were playing that Xenoblade Chronicles game on the Wii U, and they were playing it for a while.
Were they really?
Yeah, they were showing the
missed that.
battle system. They were showing you exploring. They were going all out, and the same with
let me
the
say
Mario.
something too. There were people on Gaff earlier saying there was a graphical downgrade with the Xenoblade Chronicles game from the premiere of it, from when it was first shown off. And I honestly, I clicked on the YouTube video they were basing this off of, and it was the most highly compressed piece of garbage video I've seen in I don't know how long. And I literally typed in there, I said, I don't know how you can make any judgments of quality on that video. It's unbelievable the things people will do when it comes to E3. They just look for things to be disappointed about, and I'm going to address that in a little bit. But
yeah, that is a good topic.
Continue.
But as I was saying, I
Crazy.
just really, really, truly feel as stuff streaming becomes such a commonplace thing, and with the new systems, including it in there, it's just going to grow and grow, and I just think that that journalism, while I don't think is on the path of disappearing completely when it comes to Polygon and IGN, every time you see a review, every time you see gameplay footage or something from a website and a review and opinion, people just want to, I don't like this website. I don't think you guys rated it right. And I just think people are going to get to the point where they're like, hey, I don't need to go through you anymore. I can just watch somebody play. I can watch the developer just show me and cut you out of the picture completely because I can make my own decision.
I guess I can see that happening at some point too, but I also think those sites will want to be around, or people will want them to be around, because when you start getting into manufacturers showing it, not everyone is as honest and straightforward with their products as Nintendo. Let's just put it that way. There was a demo
True.
shown off by Microsoft a couple of months ago. I think it was at DICE or GDC, and it was seen now we know it was from Crackdown, and the new Crackdown 3, I guess. And it was a destruction scene. It was showing off the power of the cloud, but it was completely they didn't disclose like what kind of computer they were showing this demo on, what kind of processor, and all this stuff in it. And you have no way of knowing if the power of the cloud is truly that powerful, or if this is a completely fictitious kind of setup that they've come up with.
It's imagination.
And that's one of the things. Yeah, I think people would probably still want the Polygons and IGNs around because they feel they're not nearly as biased as those companies would be toward their own products naturally.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but sometimes I don't know the way people react. But I'm sure they'll always be around, though.
It's funny how people react to things, but I honestly, like, at the end of the day, I think they would want these sites still around. The funny thing to me, though, if I was to pick a winner, it would probably be Nintendo for entertainment value and creativity. I would have to say, I think Sony had a really good showing. I think they had a strong showing, but a lot of their stuff wasn't theirs. And what I mean by that is I think Nintendo had more stuff that I want to play on their system, as opposed to Sony, who announced a lot of games that are multi-platform, and I'll probably end up playing on PC. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, and here's the thing. What really did Sony announce that was exclusively by one of their first-party teams?
Right. Well, other than Uncharted 4, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Really, there's only really one game.
And The Order.
The Order. I don't know if I'm interested in The Order, to be perfectly honest with you. It really, I'm teetering on that game because it is so heavily scripted and linear, and I don't mind those types of games, but it just looks so uninspired. There's a part where in one of the gameplay sections in the conference where he landed on his back and he had to pull the thing off his neck. He had to pull his necklace off with the holy water or something in it. And there was a QTE for that, and it was just press triangle. And I was like, why did he have to press triangle there? What would happen? The monster wasn't near him. He wasn't going to die. It just looks so lazy. But look, I like Ready at Dawn. I really do. They did a really good job with God of War on PSP. But to me, it just seems like they're still in that super cinematic, scripted, linear QTE mode, that they did. And the black bars on top and bottom, don't even get me started on that. I don't mind it, but it's just kind of an odd decision, I feel. I don't know.
They're not the only game to do that.
I know. The Evil Within's doing it too, right? But I just think, there were also shots of Wolfenstein that came out before it released with those two. It was kind of strange. I guess I don't know if they were considering that at one point, but anyway, the Order I'm still kind of iffy on. But yeah, I think Sony had a lot of content, but they seem kind of just treading water. They're not really coming up with, the hard-hitting stuff isn't until 2015. Everything's been delayed to 2015, including The Order, right? Didn't The Order get delayed?
Yeah.
That's 2015.
You've got a lot of stuff is coming February, and a lot of stuff is coming October. That, like, from October to February is like a ton of stuff.
Oh, God. Don't even... Yeah, the release date... Somebody put it on NeoGAF. One of the threads was like the release dates of games from now until October. There were like 3 games or something. It was crazy. And then there was from October... I think it was literally October... And it was only October, and it was nonstop, just onslaught of games. And I was like, there is no way that's going to remain that way. Some of these other games are going to get pushed back, And
well, like I know some did, like Batman.
Yeah, Batman. That's really disappointing to me. I was really looking forward to that, and that had a great showing last night. I thought, like that gameplay demo really got me pumped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of strange though because I've been kind of, I guess, cynical. Imagine that on AAA games in the past few years, like on multi-platform games, Assassin's Creed and all these things. And now I'm actually really excited for pretty much all of them. I'm excited for the new Assassin's Creed. I'm excited for Arkham Knight. I'm excited for Far Cry 4. I think that looks really promising. I'm not gonna, it's a Ubisoft stage demo. I tweeted that yesterday. It's usually BS. So,
Yeah.
but even like the Rainbow Six game, that looked kind of, I don't know if it's gonna be that neatly played, but it looked fun. I don't know. Like I'm really hyped for a lot of the mainstream stuff, and it's usually not the case for me. It's kind of strange, I guess, but I guess they're just doing a good job of marketing the stuff because they're not showing too much, and it looks like they are trying to incorporate some new ideas into the stuff too. Like the co-op in Assassin's Creed looks pretty cool.
Well, and I am curious, like like you were talking about Sony. What are they working on? Like, because it's almost like I feel like they really brought it strong when they did the last year's E3, and then they've done decently since they released their system.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now there's going to be a big lull.
Yeah, it seems that way for Xbox too, though, because I see the big game this year is Sunset Overdrive this year or 2015.
It's this year. It's October.
It's this year. Good. Okay.
Or
so
November, I think.
They have Sunset Overdrive, which I'm kind of iffy on. I don't like. It looks fun, but I just like all the enemies look the same, and the grinding's kind of slow looking. I don't know. I mean, they play test this stuff, but Insomniac is really they've got to kind of earn my confidence back in them because after their last efforts, I'm just not sold on them anymore. I liked Resistance 3. I liked Into the Nexus I played recently. I liked it, but they made this decision to go to 30 FPS instead of 60 and, up the graphical quality. And as a result, the frame rate's really poor in that game, and it's really tough to play, for me anyway, because I went from the downloadable game, Quest for Booty, and I went from that to Into the Nexus, and it was just like night and day, It's totally different playing at 20 some odd frames a second as opposed to 60 or 50. And I don't know, like after Fuse, it just you played through Fuse, right?
Yep, I played through the whole thing.
Was it good? I didn't even play it because it looked so uninteresting.
I played it
to me.
and it was somewhat generic, but I still think the weapons and the co-op was a lot of fun. But yeah, you could tell it felt like kind of like...
The thing that really upset me about Fuse was the changes that it went through design-wise, especially characters and you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't think that was their doing.
You don't think? Yeah, I know what you mean. It was pretty much like focus groups and all that stuff, but it was...
because look at Sunset Overdrive. It has a similar look.
I know, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It has Sunset Overdrive looks like what Fuse should have been to me. Like it looks like it has the creative weaponry, it has the zany sense of humor, it has the color, the characters, all that stuff. It's typical Insomniac, but they, like I said, it's after their past few efforts. The last Ratchet and Clank games before Into the Nexus were not very good, I didn't think, and I don't know. So I'm iffy on that one. But the other big game for the Xbox this year is a re-release of the Halo collection, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Halo 1 through 4, and I'll be honest with you, like I love Halo CE, the first one, Combat Evolved, and Halo 2. I'm not big on the campaign. Multiplayer is a lot of fun. Halo 3, I like the campaign a lot. Halo 4, I haven't played. So the big deal for me is these are all 1080p and they're all 60 FPS, which is incredible because even on PC, Halo Combat Evolved is not 60 FPS. The animations are stuck at 30 FPS. Yeah. And if you run it at 60, the animations look choppy because it's just messed up. And I would literally kill a person to play those games in HD in 1080p, 60 FPS.
I just think it's a huge that's a huge value at $60.
Oh, you're not kidding either because they've said it has over 100 multiplayer maps in the entire. That's insane. 100 multiplayer maps, and Halo 3 has the theater mode and stuff like that with it, so that's awesome. And I'm a PC guy like largely, and Halo 1 and 2 were released on PC, and Halo 2's multiplayer was supposed to shut down last February, I think, and they extended it through June last year, and they said we'll announce new plans on it later. Then they extended it again through, I think, this January, then they extended it again, and then they keep on pushing it back and keeping the multiplayer alive. And earlier last year, there was a leak in the Steam database of Halo 3. Halo 3 was found in the Steam database, and people were, wow, well, this is weird. Halo 3's coming, because there never was a PC version. And so anyway, this Master Collection is coming out. There's a rumor, Jeff Gerstmann on Giant Bomb said he saw cursors, a message, whenever you play a PC game that supports both inputs, it says, move the mouse and then, to get control or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he picked up the controller, the guy showing it off picked up the controller, and then it switched and it said, move the joystick or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
it was like so he said it looks to him like there's a PC version of the Master Chief Collection coming.
Yeah,
And-
but they're, you know what they're gonna do though.
Well, I know, but that's the thing is that's like the only game I could think of right now that I would really want an Xbox One. And if that could come to PC, then I really have no reason. Especially Dead Rising 3 is coming to PC now. But
Yeah, but I think they won't bring that out for at least a year after.
that's fine. I can wait. I mean, I still have the original Halo, but there's a guy that works for 343i on NeoGAF he goes by Stinkles. I forget his name. What is his name? Frankie? I can't remember. Anyway, he works there at 343i, and he said it could come to PC, not an impossibility, just no plans right now. And I was like, do it. God, just put it out already. It's your freaking OS. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, so it just frustrated me, but that might come to
Xbox
PC.
One sales, man.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are going to buy it for that. I'm not going to buy an Xbox One for that. I'm just telling you now. Just telling you guys
okay.
now. I'm not buying an Xbox One just for that. You got to have more. But yeah, so anyway, my point with the whole thing was that all of the big games, save for Sunset Overdrive for 2014, are re-releases. Because the other big game that was big to me because I missed it last year, I didn't play Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's coming out, remastered in 1080p. I guess I would assume it's 1080p. But good grief, did you see that trailer?
Yeah, but see, I'm curious how I am really curious how that's gonna do because. Granted, it's coming out in the fall, but there's so much stuff coming out that I'm wondering if people are gonna be like, I want to play this new stuff.
Well, it's
I-
already
I- I've
sold 32 million copies or something, so I can imagine
Yeah.
if it sells another 5, they'd be happy. I don't think they're expecting it to double its sales or anything. But
Like I want it, but I probably
Yeah.
won't get it because I want to play the other
Yeah,
stuff first.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people I'm happy it's finally coming to PC. That's why I skipped it last year because there were files found in the release on consoles. I
Yeah.
think on the Xbox disc that said it was like a test log for the PC version. It said specifically some stuff about DirectX 11 features and whatnot. So I was pretty convinced it was coming to PC. Not only that, but every Grand Theft Auto has been released on PC to date, except for the portable ones. And so I held off expecting a PC release. I didn't think it would be this long until the PC version came out, but I'm excited to play it for the first time. But with I guess a playable frame rate, I don't know. Saw the Digital Foundry article on that; it didn't look too good. But yeah, like the only other game coming out this year for the excuse me PS4 is a re-release again of a game from last year, just like The Last of Us. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of strange. The one company with the system supposedly dead in the water has the most games coming to that system that I want to play. It's interesting, I thought. Let's see. What else did I ask you to think of today? I came up with this list of topics. Oh, were there any big surprises that you thought? Were you surprised by any announcements? I can think of one.
I'm trying to think if there's actually any really oh my MFG announcements and
This one isn't quite like on that level for me, but it was really surprising to see Grim Fandango remaster.
that was a surprise
coming out. That literally caught me off guard. I had no idea that would even be thought of nowadays, especially on a console, because that was a PC adventure game, which is kind of interesting. But it's really cool that it's coming, and it's multi-platform. I'm pretty sure because Tim Schafer said we'll talk about other platforms later. Somebody on GAF was convinced that meant he'll think about other platforms later. It's PlayStation exclusive, and you don't say we'll talk about other platforms later when you're thinking about it. You're pretty sure it's coming. So, about Devil's Third being Wii U exclusive, was that weird to you?
that was my biggest WTF.
Yeah, it's weird too that the game, honestly, it looks a lot worse than it did in 2010 to me. Did you see the trailer or gameplay footage of that?
I don't really.
It looks
I
rough.
don't really know what to
man.
think.
It looks so rough. I mean, look, Itagaki's games to me, I love Ninja Gaiden, the original. Ninja Gaiden Black was I don't know, they messed up with the balancing and stuff in that. I know a lot of people think it's a lot better, but I like the original better. But Ninja Gaiden 2 on Xbox was, I think, the last game he did, the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then he left Tecmo and he left Team Ninja or whatever, and they did Ninja Gaiden Sigma. That wasn't his game. Ninja Gaiden 3 wasn't his, and Razor's Edge wasn't his. And now this is the first game he's doing after it got canceled because THQ went under, and I think it switched engine mid-development, what I read, and it's gone through a lot of turmoil, and I don't even know if they rebuilt it again when they moved it over to the Wii U, but it showed back up today after 4 years, and it looked really rough, and it's really buggy. There's clipping issues everywhere. It just doesn't look like a typical Itagaki game, and I'm wondering if Nintendo won't step in at some point and give it like the proper development time it needs, because like I said, when you work with Nintendo and they publish your game, you have the advantage of time, right?
Yeah.
They can afford to delay games, and in their mind anyway.
And what's up with the switching to first person with
that's
shooting in
weird.
third person?
That's weird. Whenever you shoot, it aims down sights in first person as if it's an FPS, but it's always third person otherwise. And then there's the melee combat, which I actually think looks kind of interesting.
Yes, the melee does look interesting.
That's what kind of conflicted me about the game was I thought the trailer actually looked a lot of fun. Like I thought it looked pretty good trailer wise. It was zany and just typical Itagaki kind of stuff. And then the gameplay demo happened, and it was really, really buggy and rough looking. And I don't know what kind of state the game's in. I don't know if that's an early build. I don't know when Nintendo stepped in and said, "Hey, we'll publish for you."
Well, I have a feeling it's not coming out soon. I don't think it's not till sometime next year.
It's probably next November or so, I'd guess. But I hope they work their magic like they do with everything, practically, except everything not named Geist. Anyway,
the other thing too is that the main character just how generic can you get?
Yeah, and they changed it too. It used to be focused on 3 main characters, and now it looks like it's just one bald Space Marine kind of character. You're like,
they kind of act like
tats all over him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of the game. It looked like it was kind of like in some creative flux or something, but we'll see. I mean, it will have some time to hopefully iron out any bugs because it had a lot of them from what I saw.
Speaking of the whole E3 thing, I'm seeing on GAF right now. It says big 3DS game announcement is due to come tomorrow around 6 p.m.
Interesting. I wonder what that could be.
Could it be Majora's Mask?
It's probably a Resident Evil game, actually. No. Yeah, it could be Majora's Mask. Man, I'd like to have that, actually. I haven't ever played Majora's Mask, believe it or not. But, what else? Man.
What do you think was the best looking game?
Best looking game?
Yeah, best looking visually.
Visually,
I know mine.
Does Uncharted 4 count? That wasn't really in game. That was in engine.
It didn't really show enough.
That looked
ridiculous.
Good, it looked ridiculous. Like, honestly, that literally made me just go, holy shit. Like,
but I need to see, like, the level with shooting going on and stuff going on. And
when Anuma, or whatever his name is, like, how do you pronounce his name? Anuma? When he snapped his finger or whatever and Zelda Wii U came over his shoulder, I literally said, holy crap, like, out loud. I was like, look at the grass blowing in the wind and all that stuff. That looked freaking amazing to me. Yeah. I don't know though. I mean, that wasn't technically, the most impressive game. You know what I mean? But
okay. Well, from a gameplay perspective, like a game that's actually is fairly well, fairly well in
The Order. I don't know.
No, I would say for me, I would say The Witcher 3.
You know what? I missed it. I missed that actually.
Oh, you did?
Wasn't that Microsoft's conference? Yeah, I had to drive to work.
It was actually they did a thing their own conference before E3 started that they showed a trailer and it was just.
Yeah, no, I have seen it before. I have seen it already. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, now that you bring it up. Well, The Witcher 2 on PC was something to behold whenever it came out in 2011. That was an incredible looking game for me.
And even the 360 version was incredible what they were able to do with the 360 version.
Right, especially because they focused on just the 360, And they were bringing a version of the first Witcher to 360 and PS3 at one point, but they actually canceled it. I don't remember why.
Yeah, they canceled it because it was gonna. They said doing that. I think if I remember right, almost bankrupt them, and they had to focus on 2.
Well, good for them. I'm glad they're That's a whole other podcast for me.
Yes.
CD Projekt Red, but they're owners of Good Old Games on PC, and they're completely DRM free, and I freaking love that place. So anyway, Um, on, on to other things though. Yeah, The Witcher 3. I'll go and check out that trailer because I didn't get to see the trailer for E3.
Oh, dude, I
But it looked awesome.
I
I know it's open world, like it's inspired by Skyrim, unfortunately, but it's open world and it's yeah, it looked incredible. From just I remember there was a GIF that leaked out, a GIF, whatever you want to call it, that leaked out from GDC. Behind closed doors, it was like the crappiest looking cell phone camera quality video I'd seen probably in my life. You know, worse than like the TMD little movie rips you can stream online, those kinds of things with people like passing in front of it and like like next to it. But it was of the weather system and it was the trees blowing in the wind and whatnot, and it looked ridiculous. And I was like, that looks that good on that video? Like seriously, it must be incredible in person. So.
We should get your
I'll have
live
to
action
check it
thoughts on it right now. You should play it right now. Watch it.
Watch the trailer?
Yeah, you should watch the trailer.
Oh, I should live comment a trailer. Hold on. Where's the link? It's in
Here, I sent it to you
Skype.
here.
It's right there. Hold on. I gotta like close this.
Yeah, why not?
thing
It's only
here.
like 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
Oh, is that all it is?
Yeah.
That's a fifth of our podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Our podcast is. I don't know how long tonight. Let's see. Sword of Destiny trailer. No, let's not blow out my speakers here. That's great.
Or the listeners.
Sorry. Let's see here. Oh, there's horses in it. Who would have guessed? That's crazy. I had no idea.
Once we were many.
Twice we
Now
weren't.
we are few.
Oh, I was almost right.
Hunters, killers of the world.
Is it inspired by Game of Thrones?
Maybe.
Ultimate killing machines.
Yeah, I like the foliage density and stuff they like pay attention to in these games.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. They really sell the world in these games.
We meet again, Witcher.
You like his beard, by the way?
Imperial Majesty.
Oh, I love it. I want to scrap it.
She's returned
I want to plow him. No, I'm just kidding.
after all these years.
Where's Triss?
Are you sure it's her? Yes.
I thought she was going to turn around and it was going to be him.
Witnesses
Only because she had white hair too.
follow some.
And this is supposed to all be in game.
Find her.
Wow. So are you playing as Sephiroth?
Do. What then?
Sephiroth of Rivia.
She deserves.
You know what's funny is the Witcher 2 had some really bad animation, and the combat system was pretty janky. But for some reason, I couldn't stop playing it until I did stop playing it. But my point is, it was a lot of fun. You are one of them. So this is all in game.
Yes, this is all in game.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And what's funny is I remember people being disappointed with this looking like The Witcher 2 and it being 3 years after The Witcher 2, and I was thinking, you don't remember what The Witcher 2 looks like. Oh, so you can
I mean, it
swim?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they just totally took
Wow.
the open world idea.
What's great too is there's actually a no HUD button in the PC version of 2 by default. So all this gameplay you're seeing right now, if you watch the trailer, you can sync it up with the podcast if you're that much of a nerd. But yikes, what was that? So anyway, all of the what was I talking about? Oh right,
I know.
all of
blown away.
all of the cinematic gameplay that you just saw in that trailer is possible because you can turn the HUD off like by default. There's no need to play with it on really, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, that looks really great.
I think their open world stuff looks amazing. Like
Yeah,
how
it
it
does.
looks
It's-
beautiful.
The horse riding and stuff looks cool, and you can swim and all kinds of stuff. That looks pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, I guess I don't know. Like I'll give it a toss up between that and the Order. I guess the Order is single platform. That is like focused on a single platform. This is multi-plat.
Yeah,
And it
which,
looks
in
this
my
good,
opinion,
which
makes
is
it more
crazy.
impressive.
Yeah. So is this running at 1080 on PS4? I can't remember. Honestly, I think they announced
I don't remember
that.
either.
But yeah, it looks pretty crazy, and it kind of makes it funny to me. It's open world, and if it does run at 1080, Watch Dogs was 900p or whatever on PlayStation 4, which is kind of inexcusable. And if GTA 5 runs at 1080p on PS4, looking like it does, because they upped the traffic density and all kinds of stuff. They added trees everywhere, and it looks ridiculous, seriously, to me. And I don't know. That was one of the things I noticed last night watching the trailer for GTA 5 was how much more alive that world looks than the world of Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of strange because I've been playing Watch Dogs for a couple weeks, and it's like the world to me in that game is really pretty well realized and feels not authentic, but kind of, I don't know, kind of active, I guess. And then I saw the trailer for GTA 5 last night. I don't know if it's the same on last gen consoles, but the world just looked ridiculous, and I was kind of floored by it. I look forward to playing it, but. So biggest surprise, we got that out of the way. I said that Itagaki game, the oatmeal cookie face guy. What's his name? Yeah.
Oatmeal.
And have you seen that picture?
Yes.
It's horrible. I saw someone in the Gaff thread today said, so that's how the cookie crumbles, huh, Itagaki? And I was just laughing my ass off. I was like, you are evil. That is wrong. Let me close this. Anyway, let's see what else. Best looking game, we covered that. What else? What game demo, if there are any, do you think would end up being downscaled or kind of end up being BS'd on stage? Example being Far Cry 3, when it was revealed, ended up not looking quite as good. Or, of course, the notorious Watch Dogs demo. And the funny thing is they always show these jackasses on stage with the controller in their hands. And they go away from the gameplay to show this guy with a controller, and
I hate that.
I'm like, why? Like we know what he's doing, we know what it's like to hold a game controller. Why are you doing that?
Now I gotta squint my eyes to see what the fuck he's doing. Thanks a lot.
It's so stupid. They did that at the end of what trailer was that? It was the end of one of the trailers. Oh, it was the Batman gameplay session, and they went away when he walks in and confronts the Penguin. And they went away from it and showed the guy from like long distance on stage playing the game, and they showed the game on the screen like in the background, super tiny, and it was like the climax of the entire thing. And I was, what are you doing? I was so mad. I was like, stop! Who's doing this? Because I work in television, people. I'm like, stop it!
Yeah, cue the camera.
By
with
the
guy
way,
playing.
there are so many things going on in these live streams that drive me fucking nuts. Like, I'll sit there and I'll look at these shots these camera people are getting, and I look at the direction, and I'm just going, why are you not hiring me? What is wrong with you? It's crazy, dude. Some of these streams are so poor. But anyway, I digress.
Well, I think we were in a. I think
we were going
'cause we
with,
talked about this a little bit ahead of time, but I think we were in a agreement of which one we think. Correct.
Well, yeah, I think what you were talking about was that Rainbow Six game. That's what we were agreeing on. If you guys watch the gameplay demo for this Rainbow Six game, and this is including, by the way, No Man's Sky, which looks incredible. That game looks freaking nuts the way that they presented it. Yeah. And I think it's done by a team of less than 10 people, honestly. Four people? Yeah. And it's super, super ambitious. It's unbelievable. They're promising infinite worlds and infinite, procedural generation and all this stuff, which how do you make a game around that? I guess you don't, but that's the whole point is exploration, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, including that game with these ridiculously ambitious things, the one that stands out most to Justin and I as being possibly or most likely BS'd is the Rainbow Six game. What is it called? Rainbow Six Intrusion or something like that. I don't remember. It's like the Battlefield Hardline competitor, basically, is what it is. But the whole gameplay demo looked so clean and perfectly, played out that I was just shaking my head the whole time, going,
Yeah.
"There's
And
no
nobody
multiplayer game
talks like that
No,
when they're
I
playing
didn't know.
games.
I didn't realize that it was supposed to be multiplayer people talking, voice chatting,
Yeah.
instead of like in-game dialogue. I thought this was like a single-player thing, and then I see the numbers above their heads or whatever, their names, and I was, wait, this is multiplayer? No way. This is just this is never gonna go this well.
As soon as he's like, I need to revive the lady.
Oh wow, there was a distinct lack of the N-word in that trailer too. So anyway, That's the thing, though, is I just think it was complete BS. But we'll see. I mean, it didn't look like. I'm not saying it's not going to look like that. I'm just saying it's not going to play that well, and it's not going to be that.
That's the closest thing we got that looks like a target, almost like a target render.
Unfortunately, because with games like The Order now, that's in-game play. Like that's in-game graphics. And we're at that point now. I guess Uncharted 4 maybe, because Uncharted it was one of those things they say it's in-engine graphics. That means it's the cutscenes that'll look that good. It's not the actual in-game you're playing as in model that's going to look like that, okay? But then, man, I thought the detail on Drake, it was honestly kind of weird because it was like an uncanny valley kind of thing at this point because he had so much detail on his face and the water and his clothing and everything. And the animation on his eyebrows when gets up it was just nuts. It was really nuts.
It looked like a CG movie.
It did, and it's at that point now where it was kind of creepy because I'm so used to seeing the Drake model, in kind of a cartoonish level of detail almost, right? And then you see him like that where it's almost photorealistic, and I was just kind of blown away that we're at that point now in game cinematics, but. At the same time, I don't know if I'm comfortable with him looking that detailed because I've never really envisioned him actually being a person. I've always kind of envisioned him being kind of, a weird game character, kind of like Mario or something. And now he looks like me, and it's kind of strange. I'm just saying. So
Hi,
anyway,
I'm Don Allen.
yeah, I'm like, I don't want to play as myself. If I want to do that, I'll just play as a me, right? But Smash Brothers, man, that was a questionable intro to me of the me characters being put in the Smash Brothers. Oh, let's start off with that. Okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not much of a Smash Brothers guy to begin with, but that kind of started off slow and then it ramped up. But anyway, who was it too? One of the Spike TV guys put money down that Call of Duty would open up Microsoft's conference. Duh. Who wouldn't have expected that? That was pretty much a given. Someone else said, "Oh, I'm opening with Halo," and I'm like, nobody, dude. Halo was selling 4 million copies in a day like 10 years ago. It hasn't done that since. You know what I mean? So yeah, Call of Duty selling 30 million copies a year. That's
What'd you think of the Mortal Kombat gameplay?
It looked like Mortal Kombat, I guess. I don't know. It really hasn't progressed, in my opinion, in years, right? I mean, it has, but it hasn't. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I thought the last one that came out did a lot of good different things.
It's good, but it just kind of got back to its roots. It didn't really... I don't know.
Well, in a way, but I mean, we could probably say the same for most fighting games. Anything that's still out now, like even Street Fighter.
Well, yeah, Street Fighter hasn't done much different in 20 years.
You know what I mean? They stick to what works, but they update the visuals. They add some new characters, new environments, new story. And
I guess the big deal with Mortal Kombat is the fatalities. And can you get those to differentiate themselves from the previous ones? Can you get even more gruesome than the ones in the last Mortal Kombat, which were ridiculous, most of them? But yeah, it looks fun. I mean, I'm not much of a fighting game guy anymore. Those games are cool though because they have a cool single player mode, so you can play through like a story, which is kind of nice. But the netcode on the last one was awful. It was like really laggy no matter what you did. And I don't know. I'm sure they've learned their lesson. I think Injustice was a lot better about that though. At least that's what I heard. I have Injustice on Wii U, but you know how multiplayer is on Wii U online. But yeah, I don't know. It looked cool, but I wasn't really expecting it to look any different than it did, I guess. It didn't blow me away. But
I think for games coming out this year, like this year, I think Dragon Age looks really good.
Yeah, I need to get on those games. I own the first two, and I haven't played either one.
Well, two's pretty but one is
Origins.
Definitely pretty awesome.
Okay, I'll try out Origins then. Is it turn based?
Kinda. Did you ever play KOTOR?
Yeah, I did.
It's very similar. You go up to the group of enemies. You can queue your attacks and
you can slash directly on your enemy and still somehow miss. Gotcha. So
you can get an oatmeal face and then make games on the Wii U.
I can do that too. It's like what game was that I'm thinking of now? Fallout, where you shoot stuff and you're like, I hit that fucking thing dead on, and it's like, no, miss, sorry. And you're like, no, I fucking aimed right at it with my crosshair.
Doesn't work that way.
Why do I have a crosshair if it's not accurate? It's really stupid. I don't get it. What else? So anyway, All right, so I wanted to do a little some special segment. Can I do this? Do you mind?
Yeah, go for it.
You don't mind,
I mean,
especially because you agree with me. Okay, so
Yeah.
I got bump music here. Okay, so I think we know what this is going to lead to, but I saw people today. Okay, before this morning, okay, we didn't know that Bayonetta 1 was coming to the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
We had no idea. The Bayonetta 1 coming to the Wii U is an amazing announcement. It's really cool. Why? Because people
Hell yeah.
wanted it. People wanted it, and you'll be able to play both Bayonetta games on one system, which is awesome, right?
That's
but-
great, man.
But what happens? Not only is it coming to the Wii U, which is fantastic in and of itself, and this morning people had no idea, right?
Yeah, no idea.
But it's going to be free, included for free with your purchase of Bayonetta 2. For free. You don't have to pay anything extra. It's right there for you. But guess
Wait,
what?
what's the catch?
Well, lo and behold, new news, new thread on NeoGAF. That's the rules. So a new thread arises and says, "Hey, look at the website. Look at the fine print on the bottom. What does it say? Oh, there won't be a Bayonetta 1 included with digital purchases of Bayonetta 2." Okay,
Fuck this.
let's put this aside for a second. I'm not even going to mention the fact I think you're crazy if you're buying digital retail games that are, have disc versions on a Nintendo platform, given it's tying itself to your console instead of your account. But I'm not even going to mention that, even though I just did. But you have to just find something to bitch about, right? Seriously?
Yeah.
Why? Why can't you just be happy with the fact that they're giving it to you for free? Look, if you're one of those people that has to have all your games digitally, can't you just make a frickin' exception for once? Right? Just one time. Just go buy the
don't
disc
wanna.
version.
I
Okay?
don't wanna.
Just be happy that you're getting Bayonetta 1 for free. And they didn't have to do this, They didn't have to give it to you for free. They could have just... I assumed they were going to make you pay like $30 for it, but no. There it is included, but no. It's not included. And one of the people said something like, "Oh, but you're not taking into account the fact that digitally it's $60 in Australia and physically it's $100 in Australia. So that's a big deal to us." And I'm like, you know what, Australia, I don't care about you. You don't listen to our podcast, so I'm not even taking you into account. Which, no, granted, that does suck. The prices should be the same, but
But
come
that's,
on, man.
that's
Honestly,
inflation on their end on every game.
it's just silly. So that's all I wanted to say. It's just annoying.
Well, Don, I think you hit the head,
Just-
or I should say, you hit the nail on the head with the hammer. That
happy.
people can't be
Crying out
happy.
loud. Dude, I mean, seriously, they have this amazing announcement. It's a really amazing announcement. I had no idea. I saw people going, "Oh, I like Bayonetta so much, I was considering buying a 360 to play it." Like, really? For one game, you were going to buy a 360? There's other games on 360, right? But, like, that's how highly regarded this game is. And not only that, the people that played it on PS3 really got shafted because it was ported by Sega and not by Platinum, and it runs at 25 FPS after a lot of patches, okay? And it still has load times going into a pause menu. It's really a bad port. So you're getting this port done in-house by Platinum Games on the Wii U at 60 FPS. You're getting a really quality version of the game, probably the definitive version of the game, because it has like extra content in the form of Zelda costumes and Samus costumes, all kinds of stuff. And then you get it for free on top of everything else. And then people just go, but it doesn't come in the digital version. It's like, yeah, it doesn't. So buy the disc version and shut up, please. Just shut up for once. And that's the other thing too. The thread that originally announced that this amazing thing is just got buried on NeoGAF, and the other one has been on page one all day long. Just people going, "No, it's stupid. They should include it for free." You know what? When people talk about gamers being entitled, I hate when they say that. But this is a perfect example of what they're talking about. This perfect example. It's free, and you're still not happy with it. I'm surprised there weren't people complaining about the free games given away with the Mario Kart promotion. There actually were. No, I take that back. There were people upset because Europe got more games than the U.S. Why can you pick Wonderful 101 and I can't? Well, because they're British. I don't know, but be happy you can at least get one of 4 awesome games. I saw somebody upset because the 4 games that Nintendo were offering for free, that person already owned. So he was mad because he felt gypped because he had been a loyal Nintendo customer. He felt he should be rewarded with a game of his choice. And I was thinking, that's not really how things work, man. They already have your business. The promotion is to get people that they don't have's business, right? That's the whole point of marketing, is to get new customers, not people that faithfully buy everything that they put out already. I don't understand what people think. Oh, okay, I'm done. I'm done? Yeah, I'm done. I feel better. But that's the thing too. Like, people, they don't realize that's what sales are for. Like, that was one of the things that really irked me with the whole Titanfall pulling the multiplayer modes thing, was they did that at the beginning of a sale. And I was like, you know what a sale's for, right? To get more people playing. And the whole point of you pulling it is because people aren't playing. There's not enough people playing. And the sale is supposed to get more people playing. So you're literally doing it before you even know if the sale worked, you know?
What's such a sale?
They put by the way, that whole thing with Titanfall, they actually put Capture the Flag back in the game.
Damn straight.
They did it like the next week. It was kind of cool. It was like, it feels like a minor victory when it happens. But anyway, I'm done ranting. I apologize for Limp Bizkit, but that just needed to be done. All right. So is there? Let's see. What do you think of your favorite game shown so far? Do you have one? Game of the show for you? Anything?
Game of the show.
It's a tough one for me, honestly.
It is a tough one. Well, I mean, when we're saying that, are we talking about actual it's playable, or are we talking? Are we talking
what?
Just it could have been a glimpse like
All right,
Zelda.
So E3 is like, it's a show for the press. It's a show for marketers, right? It's These guys have made. I wanted to start doing blog posts again on my site. I was going to write one about. You need to kind of keep your expectations in check, because what you see at E3 is they call it a vertical slice. And basically, that's like think of a layered cake, okay? And they call it a vertical slice because the layered cake is the entire thing, and you have many different layers, right? And you cut like a slice out of that, and that's what they show you. They polish the hell out of that little demo, and they show you that, and it's usually one section of the game that they've worked on for 3 months in advance, right? And they will just crunch like crazy and work 24-hour days and just make that as presentable as possible to sell their idea to you and their game to you. So who did their job the best out of all these demos that we saw? And I'm not talking about just playable or anything like that. Just like, who sold you the most on their idea for their game?
Honestly, I think that's a tough one. You put me on the spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because it's fun to hear you kind of like, and
actually, I think probably Nintendo.
Nintendo. I think Nintendo's not a game, so I'm gonna go with.
Oh yeah.
My favorite game was Nintendo. Wait, Zelda's a girl? Wait, Metroid's a girl? So anyway, I'm trying to think of one too. It's really tough. I would have to say, man, game of the show for me so far. I hate saying Zelda U, but it's like it's
yeah,
so,
it did blow me. It's funny.
So
the two that I would
good looking.
the two I would pick from is the two that didn't even really show gameplay.
I know, that's fine.
Zelda
I think that's
and Uncharted.
Fine. Uncharted too, really? That's cool. Did you like Uncharted 3?
Yeah, I loved it.
I see a lot of people that didn't like it. I thought it was my favorite of the series, and I tell you why. It's so over the top and just unbelievable. That's kind of what I want from that kind of game, because it's basically just, it's Indiana Jones. We've mentioned that before on a podcast. It's just so over the top and surreal that I want that, It's why I like Modern Warfare 3. It's why I actually liked Ghosts campaign too, Call of Duty Ghosts. Honestly, you know what? I was surprised how much better Call of Duty Advanced Warfare looked than Ghosts, graphically at least. It looked a lot better. I think it's a new engine finally. It really did look good. It looked just graphically. I don't know, the gameplay is the same stuff, but and no, they put some new ideas in there too. They stole plenty of stuff from Titanfall. So anyway, but one of the things I wanted to say was, I think the game of the show for me that has the most potential anyway is probably No Man's Sky. just
Yeah.
based on what I saw in the trailer, at least. Like I think that trailer, watching it with the music they chose and everything, just sold me on the idea of what they're trying to do.
I agree. I think like from what they've said and shown, it's a technical like oh my gosh, how did they do this? Especially being such a small team.
Yeah.
But my questions go farther as well, what's the point of the game?
Yeah.
What can you actually do?
I think
in the game.
Personally, have you seen anything from Star Citizen?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so that game and No Man's Sky. Star Citizen, for those of you unaware, is like it's a PC exclusive flight simulator basically, but it has like an enormous universe, and you can just fly around and dogfight in space, and it's really cool. It's from the guy that created Wing Commander, and I think it's crowdsourced over $50 million or something. It's insane, but that combined with ideas like No Man's Sky, I think is going to be the future of gaming, like as a whole, honestly, because everything now is kind of open world. That's the big trend now, and I don't blame them for doing it because I love open world. I love exploration stuff. That's why Metroid Prime is one of my favorite games because I just love walking around and finding new stuff, right? But No Man's Sky as a game, I'm not too much sold on, but the tech and the idea of it, I'm 100% on board with. Yeah, I think it's incredible, and honestly, I look forward to companies like Ubisoft putting, 2,000 people on a game of that scope using an engine like that, and I want to see what that kind of like meshing of minds comes out with. You know what I mean? And that's going to be crazy. But as a prototype, I think No Man's Sky is brilliant. I think it's going to be amazing.
I do have a runner-up that surprised me for like kind of like showcasing their new addition to their franchise.
Yeah.
And that would be Assassin's Creed, because I think that visually visually it looks amazing. It looks like they have you go from inside to outside, no loading, but the thing is also little tweaks like the platforming and like them flipping down and stuff like that. But the key thing was the co-op stuff. Like that just looks so damn fun.
Yeah, it does look cool. We gotta start wrapping up, but
yeah,
I think one of the other ones for me is what was it? The little animated one. It was I can't remember the name of it now.
Oh, it was like Nori or something.
Yeah, not the one from the Journey guys. That one looks cool too. No. But the one with the girl, you know what I'm talking about.
It had the feels.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
That one looked really cool, I thought. I like little indie games like that. Like I still need to play that Brothers, whatever it's called.
Oh, you do need to play
I need to play that because it looked awesome. And then there's just a lot of cool indie stuff coming out like soon too. The Limbo guy did a new one. I can't remember what that one's called either. Man, I'm so bad with the indie stuff. But yeah, it's been a cool like couple days. There's been a lot of really cool looking stuff. I'm looking forward to the next Mirror's Edge more than you can even imagine, but I just need more. I was hoping for more. I'm still looking forward to it though.
So what did you learn?
Oh man, I learned E3 2014. It's kind of revitalized my faith in AAA gaming, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Nintendo's not dead. That's nice.
Yeah.
They're down but not out. I don't know. I didn't learn much else. I learned a lot today though. Like move your car when they're resurfacing your parking lot.
Or you get towed.
Yeah, or you get towed. That sucks. You don't want to get towed on E3 day. Anyway, so that's it for tonight, I guess. I'll just play out some.
What did I learn?
You didn't learn much of anything, apparently. Did you learn anything?
I just learned that I think this E3 was the most well-rounded in years. I don't feel like there was truly a winner in ways. It was kind of fair ground all around.
I guess the most important thing I learned was that like all these games are coming out and they already came out last year. It's kind of weird. So anyway,
and the song's over.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at It's Don Allen, Justin at @SlasherJPC.
Yep.
And Facebook.com/whatever podcast. We got to get that going. We got to get that. We got to get people over there. So
do it.
Thanks a lot for tuning in, and
hope you guys are enjoying E3.
Yeah, same here. Good night, everybody.
Take care.